Hi everyone, welcome to Bangtan Film School. I'm your teacher, Ms. Wright. I've been a filmmaking teacher for 18 years now, and I'm an Army. I wanted to find a way to contribute to the BTS fandom, so I'm going to do that by sharing what I know, which is filmmaking. In this course, I'll be teaching you the basics of filmmaking using the brilliant music videos of BTS. We're going to start today with People Part 2 by Agust D with IU. So let's see what we can learn today. Our focus for this episode is going to be types of shots, camera movement, and creating emotion and tone in your video. Let's go. It starts off here with the projector sound, which I think is very apt for us talking about filmmaking. All right, so first off, I want to discuss two things. First is the colors. So here we're using very cool colors, these blues. The colors that you choose for your lighting can help create emotion and tone in the scene. So we know that this song is about the pandemic and when Yoongi was dealing with his emotions of being isolated, and so he's expressing that. So I imagine that the blue is going to express a lot of sadness, loneliness, isolation, which a lot of us were feeling during that time. So I also want to talk about the type of shots. This is a wide shot, and we use a wide shot to establish where our character is in relation to their environment. So in that case, Yoongi is in his bedroom. He's writing, he's isolated, he's feeling very alone. But he's also feeling very creative. The blue light is probably also indicating that it's nighttime, either early morning or late at night, and that's often when we get our best ideas. The different types of shots are going to be used for different purposes. The wide shot for establishing things, but also it can give a feeling of isolation because it makes your subject very small in the frame, or it can be used to show a lot of action. Like if you're having an action sequence with a lot of fighting or some kind of physical movement, you're probably going to want to use a wider shot to make sure that people can see it. And then you might use a medium, which is around your waist. If you want to show hand movements, if you have people having dialogues, usually used for dialogue, especially if there's more than one person in the shot. And close-ups are to get closer in and show more of that emotion. So we start off with a wide, and we go into close-ups, showing him writing. It's kind of hard to see the writing when you're further away, so it's important that we go in for that close-up. And then here we have another close-up, a medium, and back to wide. When you're filming, you want to film a variety of shots like that so that you can cut between them and make it more interesting.
사랑이라는 말 어쩌면 순간의 감정의 날 조건이 붙진 않은 무얼 사랑하는가 충분히 사랑받지 못한 나이 그래서 무엇보다 신중한 타입
So this music video is expressing a story, and the story is Yoongi during a pandemic writing a song, and then going through the process of writing the song to recording the song in order to express the feelings that he was going through during that time, and then showing him feeling better after having expressed those feelings through his art form here.
나는 말에 원해 진중한 사 알잖아 영원은 못했어 잔잔한 파도에도 힘없이 쉽게 무너져 상실은 무엇 때문에 슬픈 걸까 사실은 두려운 게 슬픈 거야.
I'd also like you to notice how much camera movement there is here. We started off in the very first shots a little bit still with our opening wide shot, but since then, nearly every single shot has had camera movement. It's slow and it's subtle. It's little push-ins, that's when the camera moves closer, and little pull-outs when the camera moves further away. Sometimes it is moving side to side. Call that like a tracking shot. Panning if you're doing it like this, or tracking if you're going like this. And we're seeing all of those types of movement. That camera movement is helping to tell our story. Remember, the camera is part of our storytelling. So when the camera is moving really slow like that, it's helping to express the tone of the music, the feeling that he wants to get across. It's going along with building that storytelling. The way that they do the camera movement can be done in a couple of different ways. Tracking shot is when they lay down some tracks on the ground and have the camera on a dolly with a tripod on top of the track, and then it's moved on the track to get, that's usually for pushing in or pulling out. It'll give you a really smooth movement. But a lot of the times in these videos, we've seen from the behind the scenes, they like to use more of like a steady cam, or they'll get the camera on a ring, it's called, and it's round, kind of like a steering wheel, and the camera's suspended in the middle. And then it lets them move it very smoothly. That you can't get that kind of smooth movement just by doing it absolutely handheld. So usually you're going to use, it's like a, they're called like a gimbal, and it's a little thing. And on the next video, behind the scenes for People Part 2, I'll show you what they look like. Notice he's washing his hands. And of course, during the pandemic, we had to wash our hands a whole lot. So I think that's sort of a reference to washing your hands. You should still be washing your hands though. And then even after he's washing his hands and getting cleaned up for the day, you see him tapping his fingers. He's still thinking about the song, even during this time. And now in this shot, he's looking at his reflection. And literally, he's reflecting. So oftentimes mirrors can be used to show that you're reflecting on something, you're thinking about something. And quite literally, that's what's happening here. Getting far away. You know, so it looks so pretty. See those slow camera movements? All right, and here he's holding a toothbrush. So I imagine he's, you know how during the pandemic you're like, why did I even get up today? I'm still in my pajamas. And did I brush my teeth? I don't know. I don't remember. I guess I should go brush my teeth. So there were times where it just felt like silly to go through the motions that we would do every day because like no one's going to see us. We're not going to go anywhere. Why are we even still doing all of that? So I think that's kind of what he's feeling here is, you know, why am I even getting up and bothering to do all of this when there's no one around to see me? It also makes me wonder how the music video would have changed if IU could have fitted into her schedule, because they said originally they had a totally different plan for the music video, but then they had to change it. So I'm very curious what that would have looked like if they would have been totally separate or if they would have interacted at all in it. I know I had to know, yeah. Puppy! So we noticed before we had very cool colors, likely because it was at night and also just to start us off with that feeling of being very blue. And then now we have warmer colors, which is what we call the colors that are in the more yellowy spectrum instead of the blue spectrum. And that's just likely because it's in the daytime or because he's starting to feel better and so he's warming up. Okay, there's a really cool transition here. Watch the shadow. Not yet, it's coming. Okay, did you see that? So we went from the shadow showing him drinking from his coffee mug, and then it transitioned to the next scene where he's in his home studio and he finishes his sip and sets the coffee mug down. That's a visual transition. We're using that to visually transition from one scene to the next. And it's really nice. I love things like that. There's a really good visual transition in Jimin's Like Crazy, which I'm going to do next on the next video. I'll show you. Still having all those little camera movements, those very subtle movements, pushing in. Aw, you're so pretty together. I like this shot here. He's still writing the music. He's gone from just writing the lyrics, and now we're showing the progression as he's starting to produce the song, probably writing his beats in the computer and everything. Still working on it. We did get a new wide shot when we were in the living room because we hadn't seen it before. And this is a slow motion shot. So usually with slow motion shots, you're going to change the speed that you're filming at Digital is generally filmed at 30 frames per second, so literally 30 pictures for 1 second of film, because each frame is a picture. But you can film at many different frame rates. Actual film, like if you're filming on film, not digitally, is 24 frames per second, because that is what the eye sees, is the closest to what our eye processes. Uh, and then when you get into higher frame rates, it gets smoother because you have more photos. And I think we'll go into that in a little more detail when we do the behind the scenes video. But basically, if you're going to film in slow-mo, you're going to up your frames per second. So if you're filming in 30 for the regular video, you're going to film in 60 and then slow it down to 30 for your slow-mo. We introduced a new scene, which is outdoors, and notice we still showed a wide shot in order to establish where he is in relation to the pool. That we need to take another look at. So that is a rack focus shot. Check it out real quick. Let me rewind it. Okay. So we're going to start off looking at the flowers, and then the focus shifts to Yoongi. Call that rack focus. Rack focus can be used in a lot of fun ways in your videos. So let's say that the purple flowers were actually a person, and then a new person comes in. We can't see who they are because they're all blurry. And then the camera shifts so that the blurry person is in focus. That could reveal a new character or a surprise person we weren't expecting. So rack focus can be really fun, and it's very pretty. Obviously, they wanted us to look at the flowers, or they wouldn't have been in focus and done this shot. This is my favorite part. So he says that you're already enough to be loved, and during this scene here, he shows himself in front of the purple flowers. So I really think the purple flowers here are representing ARMY. And during this time, we know they all really missed us, not being able to go to concerts, not being able to see ARMY and connect with us. And so this is his message to us. And also at the same time, the message that he wanted to give to himself. And that's really beautiful. This shot here, very, very high up. You could do this with a crane, but I would suspect you're probably going to use a drone because you're getting like directly up ahead, and a drone shot's a little easier than trying to get a whole giant crane to this house because this was filmed on location. So probably something like a drone in order to get that really far away shot. Another really cool camera shot. Here we see this beautiful smile. So he's expressed his emotions through this song. He's sending it out to connect with other people as well. And he's feeling a lot better having processed all those emotions. And now we get to smile. And he's also wearing a brighter color, yellow, whereas earlier on he was very blue colored, and now he's much brighter and feeling a lot better. Now a word from Min Yoongi.
뭐 사람들한테 전달하고 싶은 이야기도 있지만 나 자신한테 이야기를 하는 것처럼 들린다라는 이야기를 많이 들었거든요. 사실이기도 하고요. 그때 당시에 코로나로 여러 가지 것들을 할 수 없을 때 굉장히 모든 것을 잃어버렸다라고 생각을 했을 때 썼던 곡이기 때문에 나 자신한테 되게 해주고 싶었던 이야기였습니다.
Well, you'll never lose us, Min Yoongi. All right, everyone, that's the end of our class. Thank you for joining me. Now, before you go, it's time for your homework. That's right, you have homework. Your first homework is to stream People Pt.2. Also stream Like Crazy by Jimin. And also Watch the music video for Persona by RM because it's really close to 100 million views and we need to get it there already. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you learned something. So if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. And don't forget to subscribe so that you won't miss a single class. If you have any questions, leave me a comment. I'll answer them at the start of the next video. Also, if you want to recommend a video that I should go ahead and do, then please put that in the comments as well. My plan is to do Like Crazy next, and I'm really excited about it because there's a lot of fun things to talk about with that video. So, this has been Bangtan Film School. I'm Ms. Wright. Thank you for coming, and class is dismissed.